All right, guys, we got a 2v2 to wrap up tonight's casts. If you can't tell, these were all recorded at the same day, even though I don't know how quickly I'll be uploading them to my channel. We do have, apparently, a dysfunctional keyboard. Oh, Control-N doesn't work on 2v2s. Okay, that's why. So we got Team 1 here. We got Cool Razo, playing as the Red Zerg, and Athiotes playing as the Blue Terran. And the top half of the map. Team 2, we have Dentist as Cyan/Teal Zerg, and Drunken Stim as Purple Protoss. Just kidding. Purple Terran. Anyways, what do we got here? What is this? Lost Temple? Ha ha ha. I don't know what map this is. Who knows? This is the first 2v2 I've casted since, like, Wings of Liberty. It's been a while. Let's see if I can keep up with all the developments. The Zerg player is literally AFK doing nothing. Wait, how long does this game go on? It's a 20-minute game, so... What could possibly go wrong here? If they scout this out, this guy's just dead. And if Team 2 wins, I gotta say, I'll be interested in seeing how these two guys screwed it up. Zerg player literally doing nothing. In the meantime, we have this guy really struggling to figure out how to type the GLHF emote. Let me tell you, I would not be typing it at all because I don't... not really one for emotes, personally. This guy's... Wow, he's tried the same hotkey twice. Alright, the Zerg player is back. He's sending out a drone. He's going to expand. Loyal, no space. There you go. He's got it! Ladies and gentlemen, Team 2 may win despite having an AFK player for the first 2 minutes of the game, but Athiotes is the winner. He's won our hearts, if not the game. Now, back to the game itself. We do have spawning pools coming out for both Zerg players, although, understandably, Dentist was a little late. He had to operate on some kind of idiot like me who has no teeth, so there's that. Yeah, found me. I was his first victim, patient. We have a bunker being built by Athiotes, who's scumbagging Dentist. Does he see this, though? No, he does not. Well, there's no real way to get... Unless he builds a barracks back here, I don't see how... Oh, is he just going to run in? No, there's Marines there. There's no way this guy's getting in with 2 Marines. There's four Drunken Stim Marines over here. And a Drunken Stim Marauder. Oh, yeah, you're fucked, dude. Well, he tried. It's okay, a barracks is on its way. Drunken Stim has noticed the bunker, and it looks like he's on his way to stop that from turning into a problem here. This seems to be very confusing for him, as he's just ceased all production besides this command center. Will it salvage in time? No, it will not. Ooh, you got fucked. Uh-oh. Busted. Just like your face. Hey, we got some Marines in his base. Might as well harass. That's what Drunken Stim is fearing the most here from Athiotes, but we'll see what happens here. Ah! Repent! Repent for your sins! Well, he slayed 2 SCVs. And angered a queen or something. I don't know. So Athiotes really is winning my heart, that's for sure. And we do have a lot of Zerglings coming out from Cool Razo, who's been somewhat ignored down here as he's expanded to both lower expansions here, forcing Athiotes out into the open in a less defensible location, although he's content to build bunkers in the enemy's base and in his own base, as you can see by him throwing down 2 more. I don't know if he has enough Marines to even staff those bunkers. It looks like he may soon. But, you know, that's always enjoyable to find out that the player can't even build enough infantry before he starts building bunkers. A classic issue from an age where we once documented these problems. We no longer do. StarCraft 2, Legacy of the Fraud. We have some siege tanks coming out here, or at least a siege tank. It looks like one siege tank's already out. Drunken Stim heading down to the bottom of the map with his siege tanks, hoping to destroy some of the Team 1 units and structures with them, and, you know, lay siege into the base. But will be revealed here by these Zerglings, who saw full well the amount of units that were sitting there, the amount of Drunken Stim units that were sitting there, and still A-moved with his goddamn Zerglings. Very interesting and puzzling decision. There is no stim pack yet, so these infantry units are in for it here. Will survive just barely. Drunken Stim continuing his unrelenting, or perhaps sort of relenting, incursion into enemy territory, but he will meet a cruel end at the hand of Athiotes' 3 bunkers, 2 of which are manned and 1 of which is sitting there waiting to be salvaged, I guess. We got 2 Zerglings out and a scanner sweep. Drunken Stim, realizing what he has left to do here, is going to siege mode and destroy most of his own units, and the siege tank is going to sit there and die haplessly as Athiotes rolls out with his formidable attack force of 2 Marines and 2 Marauders. We have a host of Zerglings and an Overseer from Cool Razo. These are the games that I live for, guys. These are the games that I really like casting. The ones where it's just 4 very talented individuals, some of which may just not be playing the fucking game, judging by their resource counts. You know, some of us are too busy to play StarCraft 2 for the full time. Some of us are relying on those mechanics that Blizzard add that make the game play itself. And to that effect, you know, some of us are also just operating on patience and playing StarCraft 2 every so often, ordering a couple of units out and giving shared control to our ally. But holy Mike, do we have some money? Let's check the income or the resources. So 2 of our players, the Zerg players, ironically enough, have the most money in the game. That's something you will very rarely see. A Lurker Den coming out for Cool Razo. It looks like he's intent on making life a living hell for all Terran players in the game, including his ally. Athiotes is attempting to do something with Stim Pack, but that's Drunken Stim's territory, isn't it, I should say. We do have some medevacs, or a medevac, along with a Widowmine. Not sure what's going on there, as I think more siege tanks probably should be in order based on the army comp that Cool Razo is aware of, especially given the fact that you're probably not going to siege up on these bunkers. A curious collection of 6 drones just hanging out from Cool Razo by the bunkers of Athiotes, actually, in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, as Cool Razo has also expanded to the rich mineral field instead of seeking a more defensible rich mineral field position in the bottom right-hand corner, has egressed north of Athiotes' bunkers. His units are scouting around, looking for any and all trespassers, but Drunken Stim is following them and has chased them here, as a matter of fact. Will destroy almost all of the Banelings, but one of them shall explode, netting about 5 or 6 kills onto Marines that were drunkenly stimmed. True to his name, he will stim pack his units right before, to 1 HP actually, right before they get smack-daddied by a couple of butter. And 2 armories being thrown down for Athiotes here, as he has created 2 starports and nothing at all with them. I assume these will be turned into reactor starports. Yes, they are. Well, one's a tech lab, one's a reactor, so I'm not sure what he's going for here. But we do have some lurkers as well, and that will be proved to be pretty effective against Dentist's army of... well, he's got some mutas as well. Careful, says Cool Razo, pinging the rocks to the north of Athiotes' only... or actually his second expansion. I didn't even see that. I see he has a third. Interesting. I'm not really doing a great job of keeping track of all this stuff. Athiotes is also scouting some stuff out. What do we got here for the scan? It was not a scan for... doesn't appear to have been a scan for anybody. It was a fake. What the fuck was that a scan of? Who knows? Regardless, Mutiling coming out for Dentist here. He stopped operating on his victims from BioShock or something, and now he's really turning into a real doctor. A doctor of death, as he waypoints his units to an area where his enemy is not. A sensor tower will belie the position of any units that get within its radius. I don't know why I'm just describing the role of certain units and structures at this point. The Overlord will provide Kul Razo with 8 additional control, increasing his maximum population cap, similar to an Orc Burrow in Warcraft 3, if you are more familiar with that game than this one. Just in case, because I want to make sure my videos are as accessible as possible. Wouldn't want to leave anybody out. Wow, Dentist spent all of his money. That's crazy. Let's check out the resources here. Still Kul Razo is floating about 2,000 minerals. Not so sure on what the goal... The jury is still sort of out on whether or not that's a recommended decision. We got about 1 million pings that just went down as they've discovered the army of Drunken Stim. But of more concern to Athiotes should be the rocks. Dustin Browder's house is coming crumbling down, and with it, Athiotes' single missile turret, the only defense against air he has since he transitioned into fucking Hellbats, will also likely crumble. No, instead, Dentist has decided to kill the rocks and then destroy Kul Razo's base here. Very dastardly plan Kul Razo has. And some Swarm Hosts have also arrived. Flying Locusts, that's a new change. And the Swarm Hosts have chosen to apparently just destroy themselves by charging headfirst into the Terran army. However, they have proven to be a fairly successful distraction as the unit priority took over and nobody microed. So that was pretty depressing to watch, actually. But Team 1's army has reigned supreme. Marines combined with Hydralisks have completely shredded Dentist's Mutalisk armada, and the Zerglings fell pretty quickly to all those damn Hellbats. We have a Greater Spire coming out. Looks like we are in for some mustaches pretty soon if the game stretches on that long. We do have some rocks in place, but it looks like Kul Razo would rather just send his flying locusts at the enemy and snipe out some mules real quick. That's pretty disgusting, and I would hate anybody who would do that. Some interesting choice there to engage the Hydralisk army head on. But we do have some Liberators from Drunken Stim here. I don't think that Team 2 is going to be able to hold out. Maybe they will. It looks like all the Hydras just sort of bum rushed in and died. We have a scanner sweep coming out. The Lurkers are falling so fast to these Liberators. However, they were able to net a huge amount of kills. And as a result, it looks like even though it was a colossal amount of units lost by Kul Razo, he was able to buy time for Athiotes to sort of set up one siege tank and then do nothing else with his time. Hey, look, we've got Cyclone's lock-on affecting this Liberator. Whatever shall we do? We will point the Liberator to a different area where it cannot attack or respond. But Mustaches are here! Mustaches have arrived, and they will rain game design down upon their foes. I am flabbergasted here, ladies and gentlemen. I was not expecting such an impressive display of game knowledge and understanding at work. This is truly something else. No upgrades for either player on Team 2. None. Oh, I guess Drunken Stim has 1/1 infantry upgrades. What could possibly be the motivation for this maneuver? Drunken Stim working his magic with the Liberators. It'll poke a Marine. It'll poke some units. They're all charging. They've decided to consign themselves to a disgusting defeat and waypoint themselves into death as some unsieged Liberators throw out rockets that look suspiciously like projectile vomit as they glide through the air at a very strange and unrealistic cartoon anime offset that I would like to never see in a science fiction game as long as I can help it. Mustaches and Mutas, along with a small helping of Zerglings from Dentist, are heading down to meet Kul Razo's army as Drunken Stim is advancing. Kul Razo has built an army of basically Zerglings and Roaches. There's some butter mixed in, and we'll have to see if Drunken Stim continues to advance at a respectable rate, although Athiotes has responded to the butter threat through Vikings. He only has 4 of them, and there are a host of mutas and a single corruptor from Dentist that should be able to defend themselves against the Vikings. Those Vikings and corruptors from Kulrazo now could prove pretty disastrous against these Liberators, and we'll have to see if these players can coordinate their assaults at a decent pace. But it looks like Athiotes has drawn first blood against Dentist, whose anti-air is proving to be pretty damn good right now. Has only lost 1 Mustache Lord so far. We have some Thors that have got 2 upgrades. That's pretty scary, actually, especially against a hard counter against Mutalisks. But meanwhile, Kulrazo is defending his base with lots of Corruptors and apparently nothing else, as the ground army from Drunken Stim rampages on, destroying a hatchery at a rich mineral field. The fight between Dentist and Athiotes has not yet concluded. Lots of Kulrazo's Corruptors could just A-move this entire Zerg Air Force, but appeared to be content to just waste their time fighting Drunken Stim's Medivacs, as Athiotes sort of A-moves the entire game away. There they go. The Corruptors have finally found their proper targets. Thors are getting killed by goddamn Marines and a siege tank. Marauder onto the siege tank as well. Oh, it got blown up. Okay. All right. Well, it looks like that will quell this initial incursion, and we'll see after a brief delay another attack. We'll have to see what happens here. There's so many Corruptors coming out of Kulrazo, who still has not spent even a fraction of his money. He has 4,000 minerals, 1,000 gas, still unable to find a good excuse to spend his money. We finally killed some of Drunken Stim's tanks, and looks like Dentist has decided to... I'm trying to see who's scanning who, and it's really hard. Dentist has decided to stick with the Broodling, or Broodlord approach. We have some Vikings out for Drunken Stim, but generally speaking, our armored air units is not how you counter Corruptors that deal bonus damage to, just massive units. So I guess Broodlords are on the chopping block along with Battlecruisers if they ever make it here. And wouldn't that be a dream to see some Battlecruisers? Liberators as well will just melt, especially when you have like 20 goddamn Corruptors. Let's check the unit count to be sure. We have 17 Corruptors. That's pretty big. We have a fair amount of Harvesters for all players, except for Drunken Stim has decided to go it slow with his amount of workers here. Looks like they're going to try and route this effort by Drunken Stim to collect money from the top half of the map. These Zerglings are going to scout this out, and hopefully Drunken Stim will manage to cancel it in time. It was canceled indeed. But this means that all of Kulrazo's army is basically caught out of position here, and it will be interesting to see what happens as a result of that. There's a lot of Marines for Drunken Stim, and he does have 1-1 upgrades still. He hasn't really ascended past that. He's getting tier 2 upgrades for his infantry right now as we speak. We'll have to see what he can do as the armies sort of maneuver around and rub each other in the middle of the game, as opposed to actually doing anything productive. Lots of butter gestating by the esports tower in the top left, as we have Corruptors and Banelings mixed with Athiotes' 6 or 7 Vikings. And it looks like the Banelings have found their perfect targets, some SCVs. Just kidding, there's even better targets. Some Marines that have all just instantly evaporated, which thus condemns all of the Liberators to die a painful death to 17 Corruptors. We'll have to see what can happen here as Dentist's Corruptors face off against... what is this guy's name? Kulrazo's Corruptors. They're actually aggroing them, so the Broodlords are getting DPS off. We'll have to see what these players can do to defend themselves. Team 2 really desperately trying to hold on here as the 7 Vikings and 17 Corruptors face off against the no Corruptors left for Dentist and his 6 Broodlords that are just sort of sitting here doing nothing. What the hell is this? Oh, they were Zerglings. I was wondering what the hell that was. We just have a lot of queens from Dentist. What are all these queens for? I guess he couldn't afford Hydras? Did he not want to build any? He's just not building Hydralisks. That would really counter the shit out of this army. And now queens are just dying. Athiotes' army of Marines and Hellbats are taking the brunt. We do have some Stim Marines incoming from Drunken Stim, funnily enough, but I don't know if it'll be enough. He doesn't have any upgrades, really, and he doesn't have enough Medivacs. Dentist has just left the game. He's decided, fuck it, I'm done with this. It looks like Drunken Stim will endeavor to try and hang on here, but I don't think he's got much left in the bag here. I don't think he's got much left in the tank. He has managed to hold off against the attack from Athiotes, but Kulrazo is in his base, and Can one man hold up against such overwhelming odds? Can one man out-micro two men? I don't think so. I think, Drunken Stim, it's time that you call it quits. You admit that you were too drunk to play this goddamn game right now. And this is bad news, Bears, as Drunken Stim's right base is truly getting destroyed. What the hell? Well played, fellas, says Drunken Stim, as Caustic Spray. A literal puke. A literal puke. That's insane. Well, the GG came out from Cool Razzo. I don't think he'll be the one leaving the game, though. Is anybody leaving the game anytime soon? I imagine that will happen eventually. He's trying to hold on. I don't know what the hell he's doing. He's dying. He's dying. He's hitting F10, and he's hitting quick game. There we go. We're out of here. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that 2v2. It was a little bit more frenetic than the 1v1s that I've casted so far, so it was a little more fun in that aspect. Certainly dragged on towards the middle, but we got some action in the end when they just started going at each other. A shame that Dentist decided to leave. Could have prolonged that for a little bit, made it a little bit more interesting. But you know what they say, when it's time to go, it's time to blow your patient's brains out with some laughing gas or something. I don't know. When you're a dentist, sometimes duty just calls.